Hey ho, welcome to another edition of Birds of a Feather, the CoEd edition. It's your girl AJ, the Suburban Princess here. We're here to talk about a fabulous win for once that was convincing as opposed to the last win.
I mean,
We
it
can't
better
go ahead.
it better have been against the Giants, right?
I mean, the previous week was against the Browns, but I'd like to introduce my co-ed because, of course, we're going to pop it off with him first because I enjoy to hear his perspective because I usually go into the negative. So, welcome, Eddie B.
I'm gonna be negative today. No, just kidding. Hey, what's going on, AJ? I'm
All
good.
right. Well, you tell me how you felt because the 28-3 victory could have, in my eyes, I wanted blood. I wanted
I know
40
you
points.
wanted blood. You're like, I want 40.
I want 40
I'm
points,
like,
damn it. Step on
damn.
their necks.
AJ was like, crush their souls.
Yeah.
I'm
Like I was
like,
like, why are you stopping? Once I saw Pickett in there, I was like, Pickett? Why is Pickett in there?
yeah, they could have kept going, but I'm kind of glad they were just like, all right, we got the win. There's nothing they could
Hmm.
do at this point. They were down by 3 touchdowns at that point. It was like only what 10 minutes left, or less than 10 minutes left.
Less than 10 minutes. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
10 minutes,
so
30. Yeah. But still, it would have
so
been
I
nice.
mean, I was impressed with Big Fangio's game plan. When the defense played well.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, they played well. They did what they were supposed to against a team that had offensive line was struggling. That's what I'm kind of expecting this week too against Cincinnati because their offensive line is struggling as well.
Yeah.
So these guys were getting home finally. Kobe had 2 sacks. Jalen Carter had two. Sweat
Yep.
had, I think, did Sweat get two?
Sweat start had the first one, but I don't know what the second. I don't know if the second one was split or not. But I know the first one was.
Mm. But yeah, I mean, seven
And then
sacks
Huff
on
got
them.
it, and then Huff got in there, which I'm shocked because I had to rewind that one. I barely saw him in there. And they said
Yeah, it
Huff
ended up,
got a tackle.
yeah,
That was shocking. I think him and Sweat might have split that one. I was like, Huff got something? What is going
yeah.
on?
I think they ended up with
Yeah,
eight sacks on the day. So,
it was a good day.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Jalen Carter and Kobe, and who else had two? No, that was it. Yeah,
Yeah. I
Bryce
think
Huff
the
won.
Kobe and
Nolan.
Sweat
Oh,
pretty much
Nolan
split
got
the
one.
time.
Nolan got one. Sweat
Oh,
got
duh.
one.
Yeah, because I tweeted that actually. I'm sorry, not text. I tweeted. I was like, oh my God. Because when I got home, I was a little late coming from my errand and I saw that
Yeah,
Nolan. And I was like, was that Nolan?
yeah. And the one
No.
kid also I was impressed with got one that I've been impressed with. I'm happy to see when they drafted him. I was like, oh, this kid should be good. I mean, he's not gonna be good right away, but Jalix Hunt,
Yes, I heard.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jalix he got one too.
I
So
love Jalen
cool.
Hunt. Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, and you know what? I think we finally struck gold with our picks for D backs. Like
Yeah.
Cooper and Mitchell have been playing really well. I mean,
You
it's
almost
not.
got one again. And that one was like right down the field. I thought for sure he had that. And then he just
And
slipped out of his hands out of bounds.
at one play he wouldn't go down. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
when
I thought
Cooper
for
was
sure.
running, he was just kept getting hit. I'm like, and he just bouncing off of people. I'm like, yo, he don't want to go down, does he? So
Yes.
I mean, I think we hit with those two. So I mean, and that's good because we have an aging secondary, so that's a
Hmm.
good thing. Um, but
Offense
yeah,
wise.
offense wise, another slow start as always. I mean,
Hmm.
that's the part they got to get off that. They gotta
Yeah.
score in the first quarter. They
I don't
gotta.
understand the issue, why it's such an
I don't
issue.
care if I don't care if you score on the first drive, but
Right.
I
Something.
mean, I do miss the Andy Reid days, and we would always score on the first drive. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
always, like never failed. Like they always had that ability to hit that home run, like right off the bat. Like
I think that's the nostalgia that we're lacking right now since
yeah,
2022 is being able to at least get some kind of home run play in the first quarter. And
yeah,
that's missing.
and
Yeah.
they're capable of it. I mean,
Yeah.
they should, but it's just like I don't know. I like Hurts and all, but he's not showing me he doesn't get started fast enough for me.
I think
You
he's just
know,
unsure. I think he's just
yeah,
unsure. Don't you think? I think he's just
yeah.
unsure.
I think some of it is that. I think he's like. I mean, clearly we know he has the physical talent to do it. It's just a matter of like, does he have, not to say intelligence, but the awareness to like, because there's a couple
Yeah.
times he missed Smith, right? Running.
Yeah.
Smith had that slant all day and he missed it like twice actually. And I was like, oh, he's running right across the middle of the field. But we're not in the game. We don't know like what's going on, but it's right in front of him. Like he's wide open. There was like not a freaking giant anywhere near Devonta Smith on that one play. And it was one and actually ended up punting because when he did finally throw it to him, he was almost out of bounds at that point.
Hmm.
After he ran the other side of the field. I was like, oh my God.
He was
Like
just
the man was
delayed.
open. The man was open. Like you didn't see him. He should have hit him right away. It should have been drop back, boom. He's got to
Yeah.
just trust it. He's got to just trust what he sees and just fire. Like throw it. Just throw it. Like I mean, don't. I'm not saying go crazy and throw the ball everywhere and throw picks, but he saw the route development. You should just put it there
I
instead of
think it's
waiting.
just the doubt of trying not to throw a pick because he's gone now 2 games without a
You
pick. So he's
you
thinking
think
so
he's got in his
much.
own think he's got in his
Yeah.
own head about that.
Yes. Yes. Very
Yeah,
much so.
I can see that being the case as well. I mean, but yeah, but also is making me doubt like is he do we need another quarterback that can actually get started fast and
Yeah.
he's going into his fifth year. He should
Yeah.
know a fifth year guy. He should know at this point when to throw the ball away, when to keep it. When not. I did like the fact that he did take off and run when it wasn't there.
Right.
He dropped back, didn't see it, and just saw the hole and took off. Like just didn't go. Like stop waiting. If it's there, if it's
Hmm.
not there, take it. If it's not, throw the ball away. He's got to because I mean he does a great play and then give up 15 yards on a sack. I'm like why?
Yeah. Two of those were definitely his fault holding the ball too long. I was like, I don't know what you're waiting for. Just do something, you know? He's getting
Mm-hmm.
triggered. He's getting a gun shy at this point, and I think it's now he's got too many voices in his head again. And I'm just like, what is it when we get to this point with quarterbacks? It was no different with Wentz too, that they start overthinking everything that
Yeah.
they used to do so naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Why
That
does that
happens.
happen? Yeah. And do
I
we
mean,
do,
that
do
was
we do we do we do we feel like they have scripted plays? Maybe the scripted plays need to be adjusted at this point for their slow start,
I mean,
or
kind of like when he calls audibles. I mean, he's been doing okay when he changes it up and calls audibles at the line.
yeah,
I mean, he's been slightly successful with that. So I mean, don't let. I mean, they just gotta let him play. Just cut him loose. Let him play. Like he
let
wants
them
to run,
play.
let him run. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Maybe them trying to pull him back from making mistakes is good in a sense, but it's bad in the sense that then he doesn't know how to do his own rhythm. Like it takes
and
him a while to get comfortable
and
once
one
they kind of pull him back.
yeah, one thing I actually loved about yesterday, Sirianni was just there being the coach. He wasn't doing
Hmm.
anything else. So he was just being the coach, talking to the guys when he needed to. You saw that he went up to Saquon and was like, "Hey, you're like 10 yards away from your best or whatever." And he's like, "You want to go back in?" And he said no. He's like, "Let the other
Hmm.
guys eat." He was like, "Let the
Yeah, I
other
like
guys
that.
eat too." So that was good. Like, and that's
Yeah.
good that he went up and asked him that question, gave him a choice too. And that shows a lot in Saquon that he was just like, "No, I don't need that record. Let the other guys get some too." Yeah,
Well, that's what happens when you've been on the Giants that long too. He's been so desensitized from trying to be a me guy, that he realized when he got to the Eagles, it was finally like, you know what, it's not about that. This team needed me when they needed me most. I did what I had to do, and we don't have to beat the dead horse at this point.
God,
But
it's
I wish they
crazy.
had
Yeah, it's crazy how he just like
took
how
over.
successful he is, even with our beat up O line right now. Like we lost Becton, we didn't have Malata in the
Oh, that's
game.
right.
Like,
Concussion again with
I
Becton.
mean, we had to throw Steen and Johnson in, like, and it's like, and he still we piecemeal ourselves together. I mean, that just shows a tribute to Stoutland and how he coaches these guys too. I mean, it's crazy.
It is crazy the circumstances. I mean, knowing them a lot is still going to be out another week or so. It's going to be kind of frustrating because the Bengals
Is,
will be a true
is,
test.
yeah, is Malata out for the season or no? What's going on?
No,
Is it a
just
couple of
three.
weeks?
They just put him on IR, which means 4 weeks. So he's only going to be out a couple more weeks. So
Okay.
hopefully Goddard will be back because I know he has a hammy issue too, but they didn't put him on IR. So I don't think he's more than like a 2 week thing.
Ooh, did you? I just switched gears and talk about another team, but did you see when they showed what's name's calf pop?
Oh, Deshaun?
No, yeah, Watson. Yeah, when he showed his calf pop
Yeah,
as
I
he
didn't,
was
I didn't, I
running,
didn't want to
I
see
was
it.
like,
I was,
Oh my
I was
god.
trying to avoid it, but it seems like the Twitter doctors always insist on putting it on the timeline. So at some point I saw it, but I scrolled past and I was like, I don't
Oh
really care.
god, you can
Like
see they showed in slow motion. You can see like when his Achilles just tore, and I was like, oh my god, that had to be some painful shit. And you know what? I get that a lot of people don't like him, and I get because he's a bit of a dirtbag. Okay,
he is. I don't wish him well, but I personally felt
but
like
I
that was
don't.
going to happen anyway. That was
But
going
I
to
don't
happen
wish him.
regardless.
But I don't wish bad things on him. People are out there chanting, "You deserve it." Like
No, no,
that's
no,
fucked up.
no, no, no.
That is really
I wouldn't say that in person, but I'd be like, well, sir, I mean,
yeah,
you're not doing any better for the team or yourself. So maybe eventually that was probably the thing that was going to force you to sit down. Like I
yeah.
just
But
feel like,
that was really messed up though to hear that. Like
I mean,
you deserve it. I'm like, wow, come on,
well,
people, like,
the
got to be
fans have
better.
been going. The fans have been doing a lot of going through a lot of agony with this team, especially because the front
Yeah,
office put them in that position to have to
I mean,
like someone like him. You know,
I get that. I get that too. We got to be better than that too. I mean,
no,
that's
you
crazy.
don't make it public that you wish somebody like that hurt.
Yeah.
But as soon as I heard that happened, I said, well, that answers that question. You know what I mean? Like you can only do but so much. Like he's a shell of himself anyway as a player because he was better when he was a Texan than when he
Hmm.
became a Brown. And to me, it's just I hate to say it, but it's karma in the sense that someone
I
like
mean,
him
you
who is very every football IQ smart. It's not like he was a stupid player, but he
yeah,
suddenly
you
became
reap what
someone
you
who
sow.
could
Yeah,
not play. Yeah,
yeah.
he couldn't
I mean,
play. So,
I get it, and I get that, like, but you do reap what you sow. I mean,
yeah.
I don't agree with people chanting that, but you also get what.
No, if I was a fan, I wouldn't do that either. I'd be like, well, like
Yeah,
what are you gonna do? I mean, because at this point, like I said, I was ready for them to put Jameson, but I forgot about Dorian Thompson. I forget that kid's name, DRT.
I don't know who they're gonna start next week though. Are they
That's the
gonna start
thing.
Jameson?
They should start Jameis, but I think the fact that they threw in DRT showed that they wanted to give him some reps. So I don't know. But the point is, I feel like the coach should be feel a less tortured to have to go every week with Deshaun at this point when you have no choice. So I feel like he has a better shot with them to get a little bit more into the record
Yeah,
with Jameis and with DRT because at least you got two guys that are willing to not bring you bad press
yeah,
by default because they're going to be 80 million in the hole for the next 2 years because they wanted to give him a guaranteed contract. That was ridiculous.
hmm
So that's
yeah.
their error. Like if we've always thought the Eagles front office is bad, the Browns take the cake at this point.
I
They
mean,
thought they were doing something. Yeah.
they've made a horrible movie about them called Draft Day. I mean, come on.
They're going to be a documentary for sure. Once these next 3 years are over, yeah, they're going to be a documentary of what never to do.
Well, you remember that movie with what is it? It was Kevin Costner. It was called Draft Day. It was about the
I
Cleveland
heard of it,
Browns.
but I never saw it. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I,
I know
I
what you're
only
talking
saw
about.
like bits and pieces of it, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin Costner movies make me go to sleep. But I understood that that was the point of the movie. I mean, but I feel like, yeah, you're right. I mean, switching to this topic, it's important to understand, like, even I'm going to do you one better, knowing that Tua wants to come back without a protective helmet. And he's asking for CTE to really be a reality if he gets hurt
I
one more
mean,
time,
he's
which
had
he's
two major
guaranteed.
concussions in 2 years. I
Two
mean,
major concussions was physically, you could tell, impaired him because of the way he landed.
yeah,
So this time around, he's being defiant. But in my eyes, if I were his wife, I'd be like, at least agree to the protective covering. At least that
yeah,
if
do
you're going to come back.
something like protect
Something.
yourself, because
Who cares if you look like a sponge head? Just go ahead and do it. Like your
yeah,
team's
I
already
mean,
below 500. Protect yourself.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you what do you? I mean, do you want to be able to remember your kids when you get older? Like, come on,
I'm saying you got
like,
a cute little boy right now. Like you should look in his eyes and say, I want to at least remember who you are in 10 years. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like he's thinking about the now because he's a man and he has pride and all this stuff,
yeah,
whatever. But long story short, the NFL doesn't give a crap about you later on in your life. So if you have no way to pay for this later in your life, like it's only because you insisted to keep on playing. So it's your
yeah,
funeral. It's your
yeah.
funeral. But anyway, getting back to
Well,
our
going back to
QB.
the game, like,
Yeah,
so how about? Hey, look, I told someone I was like, Saquon's gonna have a day against
yeah.
his old team.
It was
Like,
supposed to be his day. Yeah.
I knew it. He's gonna have a day, and he did. He had 176 all
Yeah,
total yards,
awesome. Yes.
right? Which was more
He did more than the
actually more
Giants
total yards
offense,
than the actual Giants
than the
offense.
actual Giants offense. So he basically said, "F y'all. This is what I still got in the
Which
tank."
is crazy. Like
Yeah. Talk about
you
karma.
had because they only had 119 total
Yeah.
yards.
Yeah. Yep.
So
So good job on defense for us, but sucky for them. I mean, Daniel Jones couldn't really stand up the whole time. That's why eventually they just benched his butt because it was like
and
you can't do
he
anything
used
with
to
the
give us
ball.
a hard he used to give us a hard time too.
Oh, I used to hate when they let him run like a track star up the field. They did that
But
twice two
he's
years ago.
acceptably a good runner,
He
a very
is.
which is crazy. Like he is
It
acceptably
is.
like a mobile quarterback. You look at him
Yes.
like this guy's not a mobile quarterback, but
I
lo
was
and behold,
embarrassed when the defense let him open like that twice that time.
remember the one time he was running and he like literally could have scored a touchdown probably, but
The
tripped in the
whole
middle of the
field,
field.
yes. I remember it clear as day because every time I thought about it, I said, don't y'all let Daniel Jones be a track star again, please. Because he literally ran through the whole defense. It gave me
Because they weren't
flashbacks to
expecting.
what happened
They
with
were like,
him.
"Oh, he's not gonna run," and yeah, he
They took
ran.
it lightly, and he said, no, I'm going to run.
Yeah,
I'm going to Forrest Gump this bitch. So, but it's no different from it's stuff like it's moments like that you don't take anybody lightly. Like that's what happened on that AJ play from Jalen Hurts because they took him lightly on 4th and 3. And so when he did throw that bomb perfectly to AJ, that's because that DB was not ready. That's what happens when
oh,
you
he
don't
beat him.
take young
He
players
beat him.
seriously.
Well, he beat him on the outside right away.
Totally. But you could tell
And
they
it
were
was
lunching because they were like, they're not going to throw deep on 4. Really?
why not? Why
Why
not?
not?
Right? If it's there,
AJ's
why not?
back. Why wouldn't I throw to the same guy that
And he
gets
put
that
it right.
angle?
The ball was put right where
Perfect.
he could catch it.
It
So
was a breadbasket, right? Like AJ only had to put his hands out for so long because he knew that ball was right. I didn't even see where the ball went, honestly, because the way the sun was shining, I didn't even know where the ball went. I was like, how did he know where that was? I couldn't
he
even
had
see
to
it.
yeah
Camera.
he had to stand up and take a hit for that though to throw that
He
ball,
did. You could tell
which
the
is
angle. He was ready for it. Yeah, he
yeah
was ready
he
for the
well
break.
sometimes you as a quarterback you gotta hold the pocket and you to make that good throw and he threw it off his back foot too.
Yeah, that's what they said. They said right off the
Yeah,
bat. That's what Sanchez was saying right off the back foot.
he still got he got knocked down for it. So
But see, the last time ever last year that happened, and he threw to OZ in the Buccaneers game, and that was like the
mm-hmm.
best throw of the night when he got clocked. And then
Mm-hmm.
that could have been more perfect than OZ to go into the end zone. That was like a perfect ball. Why? Because Jalen had it thrown in such a way that no matter even if he had it thrown straight, it still was going to spiral in such a way
Mm-hmm.
that OZ was able to see it right over his head. Like it's stuff like that that as soon as you get mad, it hurts. Like if he throws a pick or if he doesn't see somebody or if he takes a sack, then he does that stuff and that makes you go, damn it, I'm right back in.
Like
Like
and it's also frustrating too because you know
so frustrating because
because
you
we
know
know
his
he has the
potential.
ability. He has the
Yeah,
ability. Yeah. So
it's the potential because we've seen everything up until the Super Bowl year and we've seen everything even a little bit after it. So
mm-hmm.
when he's not playing to his best ability, he's either in his head or he's trying so hard to be like, I'm not trying to throw a pick. I'm not trying to throw a pick.
like I'm not gonna throw it. Yeah.
I'm not going to do the pick. Either that or he just doesn't like to throw it away or check down. I think he only checked down to Gainwell once. He's not really big on checking down. And that's going to get him too if he has to learn to do that because at some point AJ's not going to be open all the time. I know he's
Yeah.
always open, but
He
sometimes
had
it ain't going to
one.
be AJ.
Yeah. Well, he had one to what Katera too. Like that, but
Yes, he
he,
did. Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Gainwell, we've talked about Gainwell also being a nice compliment to Saquon when Saquon needs
I
to work.
like it. I like him. He's because he's pure speed. Like he's like
He is.
Saquon is like speed and power, and
He's just
he's just
straight up speed. Yeah.
yeah.
Because he's not as big as Barkley, but he manages to get the little yards that are needed to keep the drive moving. And to me, that's the one thing about Gainwell that even stuck out when he was still a rookie and
Mm-hmm.
Miles was still here. Because sometimes if Miles couldn't break through the tackles, Gainwell can get around, and so that's where he comes in handy. Because I think a lot of people always want to clown Gainwell, when he's never been able to break or get into the end zone. But I'm like, no, he serves a purpose. They just have
Yeah,
to put
I
him in
mean
the right position.
he's a good receiver. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. I mean he serves his purpose.
He
I'm
does
okay
service
with
purpose. I'm okay with it too. Now, also, lastly, yes, I do agree that Sirianni, definitely kept himself out of the headlines for once. And I think at the end of the day, we all know that really it wasn't just about just him, his behavior. It was also the fact that they're also at this point in the season where we're expecting things to start turning. And he kind of
it. Mm-hmm.
diverted the attention from the season growing into his outburst. So now him becoming not the focus this week, them going against Cincinnati is a big deal because as much as they have a shaky record right now, they're still a pretty solid team. Like you
Yeah,
said, they have a weak O line, but Joey B can, when he's focused, he can get Jamar. But
yeah. But
this will
the
be a
thing,
test for the DBs with Jamar because if they cover him, then I know that that backfield has grown. You know,
yeah,
so Jamar and who's the other one? Higgins are the
yeah,
threats when it comes to that team. So, what are your thoughts about the Bengals matchup?
yeah. I mean, I think I don't think it's gonna be a close game. I think
Mm-mm,
because the Bengals they don't. I mean, they got the talent. They're not gonna quit at all.
no, no.
So I mean, is it in Cincinnati or is it here?
I was going to ask you that. I think it's
Trying
in
to remember.
Cincinnati. I think it's in Cincinnati because I think that they announced the flex of the Jags game, which is the next home game. So yeah, Cincinnati's in
I don't know if I
Cincinnati.
can tell you. Yeah, it's in Cincinnati.
Yeah, because the 405 game is now what the Jags, because nobody wants to watch that on Saturday Night Football. That's a horrible matchup. So I'm glad they bumped it up to ain't nobody want to see no
Yeah,
Jaguars and no prime time. They're not ready for prime time.
I mean Jaguars. I mean, we gotta they come here on the third. I think so. The week after.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
a 4 o'clock game, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 405. It went from moved from the 8:30 to the 405, which is very smart because
And
the
then we
NFL
got
schedules know ahead of time. We ain't gonna make no money on that ticket.
the third. I'm the one game that's gonna make me nervous is against the Commanders on Thursday night.
Well, yeah, because now that I've looked at the standings, because I haven't been paying attention to the standings. The Commanders are above us at 5-2.
Yeah,
So,
'cause they haven't had a bye week yet. Yeah, so yeah,
and the fact that they're even above us at this point. But then again, when you see that game, because I heard that Jaden Daniels did get hurt in the ribs,
yeah.
but he still came back, and they still were fine with Mariota, which is shocking. Mariota actually threw a touchdown to Ertz, which I was like, "What the hell? Where are we in? Where are
He
we?"
looked like he couldn't throw the ball when he was here for some
I'm
reason. I don't
saying
know
he
what.
could. I don't know what he was doing when he was here. He just ran in circles. He just ran pretty much. That's all he
He could
did.
run. Yeah, that's
He
about it.
couldn't throw
Like,
accurately to save his life, and for some reason now the boy's throwing touchdowns. Like,
we didn't even talk
no.
about our backup can't throw for shit. I don't know what the fuck is.
Okay,
All
trade
right.
deadline is coming up, Eddie. When is deadline coming up? Because I really feel like Anthony Richardson should be our backup instead of Pickett if they have to switch anybody. Because Anthony Richardson is not doing much in Indy right now. I don't think he's going to stay there long.
I mean,
Um,
I'd take him here. I'd rather have
I'm
him than
fine with him being here. I think he would learn better here as a development.
I'd give them Pickens and keep him.
And
Give
shoot,
him.
give Pickett and picks. Shit, bring him here if we can't. I just feel like if you're going to talk about movement now, because now they keep teasing the deadline. Who are
Mm.
players you would want to get? Because at this point, we're probably still going to
I
have to shake
want
the line.
I want a linebacker or edge rusher. I want an edge rusher.
I want Miles Garrett.
But that's not they're not gonna part ways with
I
Miles
know they're
Garrett.
not, but I'm just saying if we're going to put a Christmas list out there early, like I want, I've always loved
You know
Miles
who I
Garrett.
want, and they could be sellers, and that's Max Crosby from the
Oh well,
Raiders.
yeah, yeah, that
Yeah,
that's a no brainer because the Raiders
they
aren't going
they
anywhere.
they could be sellers because they ain't going nowhere. That's franchise. They're fucking snake bitten. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them.
It's a shame because I wanted Antonio Pierce after last year's rally to be, coming
I
back
mean,
into the full
they
season.
just dumped off Adams, so they're just showing that they're not doing it. They're not. They don't want to do anything.
Yeah,
How you get rid of your best wide receiver? Like,
and he didn't really care either because he's looking at it like I got other issues with this team. I don't think one receiver is going to make my team better. I have bad QBs. Like he needs a QB like a hole in the head.
I mean, he's got our old boy Garman. He's got Minshew. He's got the
And
chew.
Minshew ain't do shit either. Like we're shocked. I mean, we're not
Yeah.
shocked that Minshew sucks. He sucked in Indy. He sucks there. Like Minshew is truly a third stringer. I don't even think he's a backup. He's a third stringer
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. But I do feel like if there was a wish list, I'm with you. I'm fine with Max Crosby if he's willing to go. They
Mm-hmm.
can make it work, I'm fine with Miles Garrett. Like you, I agree that we need edge rusher and we need a linebacker. But did you also see? I don't know if you noticed in Baldy's breakdowns he had on his social media. He said that I didn't know that Van Sumeren was playing as a fullback
Yeah, I saw that
some of
yesterday.
the
Yeah.
plays. I didn't even notice that because he always does his breakdowns on Twitter early, and so I
Oh,
saw it.
you didn't notice that?
I didn't notice it. No,
Oh, yeah, I saw that a couple times. Like a couple plays he was in. I was
I
like,
thought
oh,
that
that's
was
cool.
interesting because we haven't had a fullback since Leonard Weaver. Remember back in
Yeah.
the 2010s. So it's like
I mean, Leonard
fullback.
Weaver, he was like one of the best fullbacks
He was
out
the
there.
best. I loved him. He also had a great attitude, but I
Yeah.
just thought that was a little nugget that I just found out. I was like, oh my God, we used a
Because
fullback?
apparently, did he play a little fullback in school? And when he was in
I
Van
assume.
I
I
think
don't
he
know
did. I
offhand.
think he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Because he
So
was
it was
supposed to
cool
be
to
a
see him.
linebacker. Yeah.
it was cool to see him in that route, and I'm glad they held on to him because he was decent to have in his and for like special teams and whatever
Yeah, because
else.
he was showing that they had use for him, but they just didn't know how to fit him right away last year. So I'm glad that you're right. I'm glad they held on to him too because they found a place for him.
He's ended up
And
being an odd man out
right, right, right.
because of like certain other stuff. So let me look him up. So let's see.
And welcome back, my Sydney, because Sydney almost got a pick or at least deflected a pick. So I was
Yeah,
like,
he
thank
could have broke on
God,
that and caught it.
Sydney's
I think he was like a step away from breaking on it to catch it. Like he could,
yes.
he just reached out to knock it down because he wanted to make sure he got it.
I'm just glad that he's back because his speed and sharpness along with Q is going to help
And
tremendously.
Quinion almost got
When
one.
Quinion almost caught
He was
one,
like
yeah,
this,
he
and
was
it hit his
right
hands.
there.
I was
It
like,
was killing me.
oh,
I was sitting there going, God dang it! Every time I think he's
he
going to get one,
he's gonna get one.
he
He's
is
gonna
going to
get
get one. I just want to know when. Like God, I hope it's like on a Cowboys game. Like that would be great if he picks off Dak. That would be perfect if he picked off Dak. But every time he keeps getting close, I'm like, it's coming, man. It's coming. I just don't know when.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't see anything else about him being on any other position he played.
Well, he either way, he's probably had to learn a lot of different usages on the
Oh, you know
offense.
what? He played tight end in high school.
Hmm.
He played tight end in high school. Looks like.
Well, either way, if he wasn't always as a fullback, that means that he's what he was able to be.
Damn, he's that big. I didn't realize he was that big.
I
He's
never
like
paid him no mind until they interviewed him. Like I
yeah,
never knew who the hell he
he's like
was.
6'3", 230 pounds. Like
Yeah, he always looked
6'2".
small to me, but until they interviewed him, I was like, oh, he's bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he played a little tight end. And he played mostly linebacker in college, but he played a little bit of tight end too, apparently. So
I'm
hey,
just happy. I'm just happy for him and the fact that that was even a possibility because I remember people trying to say they were phasing out the fullback position, and yet, Usachek over in 49ers was the most
I
well known
mean,
fullback.
yeah, I mean, some of these teams are like, I mean, God, you see how many injuries are piling up? These teams
Yeah,
are like they're
yeah.
walking wounded right now. I mean,
I didn't realize Debo and Ayuk
I'm
went down.
so mad.
Ayuk after all that,
I have
after
Ayuk,
all that,
I have Ayuk in my fantasy team, so now I got to find a new wide receiver.
and he's like, "Damn it!"
Yeah. So I'm
I'm just
like,
mad for him
no.
because he did all that squawking about getting paid and then got injured. It's almost like a kiss of death. As soon as
And
you
that's why
ask for a
just play.
raise,
They just
here
need to
comes the body.
just play and be quiet.
Exactly. And then he wait, did you see the little clip? I don't know if you saw it, but he admitted that he kind of handled it wrong. And I was like, don't say that shit,
Like,
no. Nobody wants to hear that mess. You handled it wrong. We all
just
knew you made it too
just take
long
it
for that.
humbly at this point. Just like,
Seriously,
don't
just be
say
like, I'm
nothing.
thankful. I'm thankful.
Yeah, don't say nothing else.
When he accidentally said that, I said, dude, you really don't know how to negotiate this social media thing. You ain't supposed to say nothing. Oh my God. But anyway, to see him be on top of the list, I don't know what happened to Debo. I'm always blaming his woman hips on something. He probably just pulled a hip.
They said he was sick.
He did
I
look
don't
like
know
he was kind
what.
of swollen in the face. So maybe he did have
Yeah, they say he
he
had
looked a
some
little
kind of
swollen.
illness. They didn't say anything was like injured. He had sickness. So
Just
he tried to
illness.
play. He tried to play apparently, but
He could have
yeah,
just got what everybody's getting with this midseason change. He's probably getting a head cold or something.
yeah. I
But
mean,
either way, 49ers now are starting to get decimated with injuries. Obviously we know about the Browns with Deshaun's going
even
down.
even the Chiefs. The Chiefs are running like all tight ends
Oh,
right.
that's right. Somebody on their DBs got
I mean,
injured.
they're down to like Worthy
Oh, that's right. Wide receivers, yeah.
and oh, what's the kid's name?
Worthy and who's their
And
other?
it gives it an H.
Oh, I don't even know because I only knew about Worthy. I was half paying attention to their
And
game, and
is it Harkins or
I don't know. All I know is they won again, so I'm like, whatever. They're 6-0. I feel like they're 6-0 with a question mark because I think a lot of people don't think the Chiefs are playing up to their standards right now.
mm,
But I think
yeah,
it's just because everyone's figured them out now. Like every team starts getting figured out at some point. That's probably why they're not winning the way they normally. And I think Holmes threw another pick. So
Kareem Hunt he's been getting rejuvenated being back home.
yeah.
And
Oh, did you see the freeze frame I saw before we started recording? I said they showed a freeze frame on Twitter of how they did a certain lineup, and they used Wentz as a line
yeah,
as a well, I
yeah,
guess a
I saw that. Yeah,
toy or
that was
something.
actually wasn't a bad play. It was
I
okay.
cracked up because I was like, "Why is Wentz there?" Then I said, "Didn't we agree though before he left that one point he played like a mock tight end, like when they had Jalen in
I
there?
mean,
And
he's shit. He's big enough. I mean,
he's big enough to be a tight end. Like I'm like, worst of the worst, a backup QB Wentz, you might want to consider your position as a tight end because you're big enough and
hmm
he can handle like without holding. So I'm thinking maybe he might have a second job. You don't realize it besides backup. He'll never
yeah,
see quarterback for Mahomes. He just can forget that. But I think he might have found another cog in the wheel that
another
might work.
minute. Yeah. Hey,
But
and Andy's smart though. Andy uses these guys
yeah,
like
I
crazy,
mean,
moving them around.
Andy did that here, which is why I used to get frustrated because I'd be saying, why do you always try to make players be more than one player? But I guess that's the whole point of being a professional. You're supposed to really blend if they need you, if you have that ability. But
Hey, look at Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill plays quarterback. He plays tight end. He
oh,
plays
Taysom,
whatever.
that dude is honestly broke down the whole fourth wall with that. Like I think after him, people thought you had to be that because he
He'll
became
play
that villain.
whatever.
He'll play whatever, and he
Yeah,
he got he got paid for it. So, but before this cuts me off, I just want to say I do feel a little nervous about this matchup, but at the same time, I'm kind of excited because it might be their first. Like if they're turning a corner, this might be the first time that we might see them in adversity and see how they manage to still get out of it with a win. So
yeah. I mean, unleash these guys. Take the top off of it. Let them. Let's see what they got. Like,
yeah,
still keep freaking Sirianni at bay and let him just be there.
yeah.
But
I mean, if
let's
Kellen is
see.
actually setting up some plays, let them experiment more. Like, why not? Like, let's try to see some different kind of plays that it makes sense in a game like this, where it actually looks like they could either really show that they turned a corner or they could beat themselves. So who knows? Um,
hmm
but I like Joey B too, so I'm kind of torn on this game because I like both these guys. So this is gonna be
Well,
one of them games like it's anybody's game. Let's just hope it works out for the Eagles and
oh,
not.
I like him, but when he's playing my team, he's
Yeah,
no
when he's yeah,
longer.
I know. I mean, I definitely don't care, but I feel that little tug for both of them. Like if Jalen's not playing that well, I might be like, all right, Joey, it's time to show
Yeah,
out.
I hate to say he's an enemy now, so he is.
Yeah,
So
he is. No, yeah, we're down with Macaulay. But all right, well, you know what? As we end here, let's just say that the next conversation or next podcast we have after this week, we're going to be talking Sixers again because now they're forcing themselves into the conversation again for game one.
oh yeah, the season. When does it start? It's
27th, I think they said.
nice, nice.
Might be. It's coming soon. So either way, we'll see what these New Jersey reveals will be. That might be
I'm
the next topic.
I'm just glad the George thing was nothing. It's just a hyperextension. He's okay.
Yeah,
It's a
PG's
bruise. It was a
okay.
bruise. It was a bruise. So
Broke bone
he's fine.
bruise,
Yeah, he's okay.
hyperextended bone bruise. He's good. He said
So
no cartilage, no tendon
I'm just
damage.
glad there was no damage. Like
Yeah,
there's that.
especially with him. Because,
That's all I need to hear. He's getting old, so that's all I need. No
yeah, and
damage.
also we
That's
know
all
that
I want.
PG is known for his most horrid injury ever, and we don't want to experience any of that kind of injury damage ever with him.
No. Yeah.
But also Tyrese had hurt his thumb, but his thumb is fine.
Nope.
And then somebody else. Sorry about that. We got cut off. Obviously, when it comes to Zoom, I'm not paying for that extra 20 minutes. So we were basically wrapping to say, go birds. Eddie and I, the Code Edition, will return next week, and we will be discussing. Hopefully, will be another victory for our birds, and hopefully some interesting Sixers developmental news. And for those who are still watching any kind of sports that's going on, like the World Series, Yankees versus Dodgers, enjoy. I could care less. And then, but tonight, Monday Night Football, we got Ravens versus uh, the Buccaneers. So that should be a good game. Go Lamar, go Ravens. Should be a good one. Enjoy. AJ, the Suburban Princess, Birds of a Feather, the Code Edition. We are out. Have a good night.